Internet, it is Euan from GameEngineStart.com here. I am here as always with Calum. Say hello, Calum.
Hello, Calum.
Hello. God, how have we got this far and you've not made that joke yet? That's impressive.
I keep making me do it every time, but then I never do it. I remembered this time.
Fair enough. So I'm just going to get started. This is Orwell. This is out on Steam. It's $6.99 for the full season, and I'll explain this season in a little bit. I'm going to create a new profile here to show you the start, just because there's a little bit of an intro we can talk over. Do you have a preference for which one of these people that we can be?
That guy first in from the right on the top.
First in from the right.
On the top.
Oh, sorry.
That guy.
This one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He looks like he can spy on people.
Sure. Let's do that. Oh, this is
one of
optional.
17,000.
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
sure.
so this is all in kind of in world.
I was gonna say, yeah. Oh, is this how you were talking about the weird like ARG aspect?
Yeah, so they actually email you on this. So I have my actual email address in here, but I don't know if this is an actual real number. I can't remember what it was when I went through this.
Of like people who have played the game.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's more than that, but we'll see. But anyway,
that'd be cool.
And then yes, I'm aware that my actions may severely impact the lives of the citizens of the nation. I will work thoroughly and judge.
Is it just called the nation?
The nation is the country you live in. Yes, and while working there, I'll adhere to laws and jurisdictions of the nation. I agree. Now let's get started. So yeah, so this is Orwell. This is a weekly episodic game with very heavy kind of surveillance overtones, and especially with what happened this week, I think this is even more precedent. With the whole Snoopers Charter thing in the UK, or last week when you're watching this. So this is the intro and kind of does a little bit of setup. This game's got
Freedom Plaza is
Freedom Plaza comes up quite a lot in here. It's got
it punches you around the head with its metaphors.
I mean, there's basically no metaphor
it's not
here.
Reserved.
Yeah, like the OS is called Orwell. It's
yeah.
Freedom Plaza. No, it's not.
It's a cool style, though.
It's a very cool style. So like, also this has got nothing to do with the game. Well, no, this has everything to do with the game, but the style of this is not really related to what you actually do minute to minute. But yeah, so it's weekly episodes. So they appear to be there. I think it's every Monday. They've been doing for the past 4, and the last episode came out this week, I think.
As in the last of the season, or the latest one?
I think there's 5.
Oh God.
Yeah. I think there's 5 episodes out right now. So I'm just going to play through the first one. The first episode is free. You can download it as a demo. You have to search for Orwell demo on Steam, but you can download it for free. It's only about 15 minutes, and it's kind of more of a tutorial about what you're actually going to be doing. So I thought it was okay to show this off. So here we go. So yes, really cool title.
Great title. Yeah.
So this is kind of your game from minute to minute. So this is Symes. He's your advisor on Orwell. So you're basically, this is the test, and they're trialing this out and to see if it'll if they want to roll it out.
Okay, so it's like they're trialing a new a nationwide security system or something.
Kind of, yes. So what we have first off is. Okay, so first off, we've got these are the kind of 3 tools that you jump between at the top. So the reader is the first one, which is basically their fake browser that they have.
Right.
So we go into the National Beholder, which is their fake news website, which shows you kind of this is their front page, like fake ads and everything. Which
I was gonna say the ads are pretty good.
Yeah, and the ads actually cross over into later episodes as well. Like I've been to this website as part of later episodes and stuff like that. So obviously, like what we just saw has just happened. So there's a bomb obliterates Freedom Memorial, kills 3. So you actually read the story, and you can see.
So are you trying to get information about the incident?
Yes. So basically, what you're doing is you're trying to profile. It doesn't actually have anything listed here, but yes,
unknown person.
Your objective right now is to kind of get enough information to try and see what we can do about like who's responsible for this, and like maybe dictate some arrests or something like that. So let's go back and let's look at the other one. So obviously there's some backstory already here. So there's some riots in Pargesian, for instance, and then 100 Grey Shadows movie shooting has been completed. And there's stories behind, like they've got writing for all this.
Oh God, that's a lot of writing.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in there. But yes, so prisoners open the unknown person file when you're done. So this is the other window that's permanently here. This is the relationships for everyone that you know about right now. So currently we have an unknown person, and this is their profile on people that we suspect or want to investigate.
Sure.
So the woman in the CCTV, the blue-haired woman on the CCTV footage.
Yeah, the one that had the police record or whatever.
Yes, so like it says here, she's no stranger to police, so you can look at the arrest record for her. So we go in here, the Bonton police database, and then you can find her there. So this is her police record.
Her last name's Watergate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
This is a bit heavy-handed.
A little bit.
Right.
So, see the highlighted section here?
Yeah.
This is the game, kind of, where you're basically trying to pull together information about various people and how they all interact with each other.
Are we suspecting that she did it, or are we saying
Well, she was there at the time of just before the bombing, and she has a police record around that area.
Right.
It'll become clear later on. So
Sure.
So they refer to these things as data chunks, the highlighted sections. And basically what it is so if you look at that, it'll say that if you add this to Orwell, it will update the profile and you've got a full name of who she is. So we'll drag this over
who
here.
you think it is, yeah.
Yes, so we'll drag over here and then suddenly our person has a name. And you can do photos as well, so now we know what she looks like as part of the profile.
Again, we're just kind of assuming that it's her.
So this is the investigative stage, right? Here's a possible lead on what goes on here. So obviously, so I'm going to skip some of this dialogue because it's not particularly important. So something like this, for instance, might be interesting, where she's been previously arrested for assaulting a police officer. So we should probably add that to the profile. And also, there's a very important thing here where it says this cannot be undone.
Yeah.
Where any information you add here becomes available to Symes to make a decision on. So there are elements in here of like, maybe we don't add this information because it's maybe a little bit suspect or might imply something wrong or something like that. So you'll pull out various bits of data and it'll say, because you've got that bit of data, we can now open up different other things to look at. So now that you've
said that she's arrested,
yeah. So you've added that to Orwell. Orwell's gone and done a search and come back and said, here's the article where she was arrested. That seems really bad that they're writing an article on a news website that flat out says that this person's a terrorist. Judging by what's been happening over the past 6 months, these kind of articles are not necessarily that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's a little bit more precedent actually now. So you can actually look for the article. Said so she again allegedly injured a police officer 2 weeks ago. Remains in custody. Trial for
hit the victim's head with a large brick. Okay.
Yeah. So you can read through that, but again, it pulls out again some more pertinent stuff. So it says previously arrested for assault police officer at Freedom Plaza. So there's another link to what actually happened. So that's probably important. You can add that in there. So again,
so is this? I'm guessing for later stuff, this stuff will get highlighted, but it's not always pertinent.
No,
do you always just have to take everything and? Because you're building a picture, so you can choose to not.
You can choose not
stuff.
Yes. Right? So that's also one of the problems I have with the game, but I'll get to that. So if you go back to your bookmarks, you can see this one's got this little symbol, which means that there are data chunks in here you haven't done anything with yet. But what you can do is if you go down and say, well, okay, so our profession is an artist. If you decide that's not important, you can then disable that chunk.
Okay, sure.
And it will go back and say, you've at least looked at everything in here. But it's probably important, so we'll undisable it. Or enable it, I think is the English word for doing that. When you say it's an artist. So because she's an artist, it's discovered another thing. Oh, so she does... Okay, I'm just going to skip this because I'm explaining exactly what he's saying. So then, because she's an artist, it then goes and searches and goes, here's her website for a portfolio for her art.
It is a portfolio website, and
Ports.folio.
It's just called Portfolio.
Yeah, and again, every image you can have, you can replace the image, which this one as a mugshot is pretty bad. But if you want to maybe personify her a little bit, you could add her portfolio picture or whatever it is. So this is where it starts to get to the stuff where you have to be careful what you're doing. So here it says, so this is obviously her website. So she explains to us she's a colourful inhabitant of Wonderland right behind a rainbow. So you hover over that, it says, that's giving you an address, which obviously isn't
that's
correct.
Not a real address, yeah.
But Orwell has picked it up as, this might be an address. So you can totally drag that on and say, hey, this is an address. And then the first time I did that, he said, what the fuck are you doing? This is obviously not real.
That's not a real place, yeah.
So I'm just going to disable that. So what else is pertinent here? She's quit her dull day job to focus on her art career, so that might be something that's pertinent. So yes, we should find out what that job is. And then stuff like this as well, where she has a Utel account, which is their instant messenger equivalent.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, what's Utel? Is it like Skype or whatever?
It's an IM thing.
Sure.
So now, if we drag that in, we now have a account name, for instance. So now
this all seems like a big elaborate thing to get into some like hacking game or something like that. Is this where we like hack our Utel account?
There's not actually any hacking. Basically, what we're saying is we have now an account name for this person. So now that we've exposed that to Symes can then go away and get authorization to actually listen in on chats. So now, So now what that's done is this is now opened up the listener tool. So we don't actually, she hasn't actually had any communications yet since we've said we can look at it. So we know that's there now, so we can come back to that, and then we can look through like this gallery and all this kind of stuff. So other stuff like there's a title of a piece. So she's maybe the daughter of an entrepreneur, maybe. Christmas present for my darling, so that immediately suggests he's in a relationship. So we should probably have that just in case.
I mean, like paintings are called. Oh no, she's saying that's what it is. It's not the name of the painting.
So this was actually meant to be a present.
I was going to say the businessman's daughter is actually the name of the painting.
Totally.
So that's not.
So it's not.
I guess it's a self-portrait. Okay.
Yeah, so it might be. So, but we're not
maybe,
sure.
But maybe not.
So if we get anything else in here, this is more things. So this is the only thing. So this is the one of the issue I kind of have with the game a little bit, where like I'm looking at that and going, you're right, that might be, I don't know about that, like that could be just be the title of a thing, and it is a self-portrait, so maybe it's relevant, but also like
that's this kind of ambiguity of information, though.
But it's the last thing I have, so if I then add it to Orwell, that's the thing that then triggers. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay, but there's some stuff in there that you'll go, you won't think it's important, and then because you don't add it or disable it, you then won't trigger the next bit, because if you think it's not important, the game might think it's important, and the link to the next thing. Oh, so the star. So there's a chat happening, so we can now just record the chat that's happening.
That's terrifying, but okay.
Yep, totally. Like we've got the warrant to now look at our chats, so we're now watching this in live time as the chat's happening. So she's chatting to so unknown person again, someone else that we don't have. Which, if I then go back to the relationship,
does that then make that? I was gonna say, does that then make them like some web link on a web or something?
Yes. So it'll add once we've authorized him as somebody we should look at. Then yes. So again, you'll get date chunks in here as well. So it'll say like this is
stole a credit card.
Stole credit card for unknown person. So
she's obviously making a joke.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so some of this stuff is like, okay, we can disable that because that's obviously not. So you could really be evil in this, right? You could be like, well,
I'd say like, yeah, she stole a card.
The text
that's evil.
Says, the text says she stole a card. So
I was gonna say, and then you get into an argument of like tone and meaning in text chat, which is really hard to discern.
If you take that out of context and put it in her Orwell profile,
if you just take the sentence, that platinum card I lifted from your desk, that sounds like she stole the platinum card.
Totally.
But
so what else do we have here? So Joseph Langley. So again, this is a big one because it's like, okay, so this is now a known contact. Is this man called Joseph Langley, who's a lawyer, and then we create a new profile for Joseph Langley, who's a lawyer. So we should probably add that, and then suddenly we have a new person. Cool. Access to the profiler. So we will only get data chunks for targeted persons. So we've got them added there.
Yeah. So you can't now get a data chunk for that. Oh no, you're talking to Joseph Langley.
So she is talking to Joseph. So yes.
Right.
So there's something interesting. Maybe their daughter. So there you go, daughter of pharmaceutical entrepreneurs. So that's something that she said and not in joke. So I'm okay adding that in there as well.
Yeah.
So that's maybe added something, and then the session's closed. So we got a little bit of information on that. So we can look back here and see what we've got.
Pharmaceuticals.
So some kind of news article here about. There's Joseph Langley. So this is the other big part of the game. So what we got here. Investigation of malicious injury of a police officer has been dropped due to lack of evidence. So he was her lawyer for the assault charge before. So that's obviously how they know each other. But they haven't authorized him, since he doesn't have a picture here yet, like a bigger picture. We can't. Or maybe we can. So we can't actually. We haven't been authorized to collect information on him yet. But we at least know who he is, and that he has a relationship to our main suspect. So you can see that some of these are, this one's highlighted in yellow, which is slightly different, which means this is a conflicted data chunk. So basically what it says is that this conflicts with a data chunk in another article. So, it's the same article. So these two, so this one says that the case was closed due to lack of evidence. And then this one says that the wealthy family of the accused may have influenced the outcome in her favour. So either it was closed due to lack of evidence, or the family stepped in to maybe close the case.
Okay.
So you can't have both because they conflict with each other. So you can only choose one of them to actually put forward. So you have to kind of look at the text surrounding it and go, so this one says the voiced concerns, so that's not a fact. But this one, however, is coming straight from the news. The case was closed due to lack of evidence. That is the official reason why it was closed. So let's actually put that one in, because that's the one that's there.
As opposed to you taking information slightly out of context.
Yeah, totally. Which again you could do, right? So because the conceit between this is Symes, who's your supervisor, can only see the data that you put into Orwell. So he's not. He can't look at these websites to do this.
He's not like looking at your screen or whatever.
No.
He's like only.
So if I was to put that in there, he doesn't know where I got that from. He just says that I think this is important. So you can totally like kind of bend it a little bit towards however you want. So at least we've got a conflicted chunks. Let's see what else we've got here. So this is actually Watergate Pharmaceuticals. So this is the website of the pharmaceutical company that was talked about. Here's some of their products, some of the stuff that they do. So there's a kind of overall style to the thing, like this kind of polygonal 2D, which is nice, and it kind of overlaps over a lot of stuff, but I think it works quite well. So as chief CEO, head of research and development, and our Watergate. These are both Watergates, right?
I was gonna say, are they her parents? I guess.
Let's see, junior CEO, COO. So there she is. So she's obviously had a bit of a change. So let's.
I was gonna say, yeah, she seems to have gone through the whole rebellious thing.
Yeah, so something happened. So actually you can look at the previous photos that you've got there and just choose one as a profile photo. So there we go. Junior CEO of Watergate Pharmaceuticals. So she had that position at some point. So she probably had that.
COO. She was a CEO of a pharmaceutical company.
Yes. So artist and junior CEO seems quite odd. But she also mentioned before that she had quit her job to focus on her art career.
Yeah.
So documents have already reviewed, maybe updated from time to time. Oh, okay, so there's a new article. So stuff that's here, that appears here, is kind of like stuff that's just happened. So those websites published an article saying crime rates have continued to drop over the time, but it's not important for now. So let's go back in here. So where were we? GCO. There you go. Alison Bruno's daughter, Cassandra. So this adds a bunch of new profiles. 2 new
profiles.
So
I can see this gets really complicated already.
So you should see like Simon episode 4, I think, and this is nuts for me. Like this goes. There are like.
Are these same people in the episodes later further down the line?
Yes. So I'm
is
still
it all just one big conspiracy network?
She is still a big part of the investigation so far. Right. I can't really say much more than that, but there are a bunch of other.
Yeah, obviously.
There are a bunch of key people, and especially in the last episode that I played, there's a pretty bad moment that we might come up during the end of the year discussions actually. So this, and then their jobs page. Urgently looking for a COO to replace retired formerly appointed predecessor. So there you go. So she was a junior CEO but has left. So they're obviously looking for a new one. Oh, okay. So that gave us a related document. So, okay. So occasionally Symes will come and go, hey, maybe we go down this road of like what happened to her and why did she suddenly change to be an artist, for instance, when she had this pharmaceutical job. So you can see that something else happened. So there's a data chunk in here that's got missed somehow. Let's see. Maybe not yet. Oh, I disabled that. That's all gone. Is that another photo I can use? No. Oh, that's the photo I can use. So I need to disable that. Just so I can keep track of what I've been looking at. And
what you've already seen.
Yeah. So this has got a star next to it, which means there's something in here that's important. Missing security, new crime statistic report, decreased by 4.8%. There's a link here to the party safety bill. So there you go. So there's the actual.
But the party is
the party is the government. Yep.
Of the nation.
Yep.
I mean, you could have done a little bit more.
But like it's effective.
It works, but it's still a bit meh.
Oh yeah. I could see. So you get some more details in here, and there's more links to different things and all this kind of stuff. So it might be important in a little bit. So this is open to timelines. So now we can look at timelines, which is their fake Facebook equivalent, which is kind of good. So again, you've got a new portrait, but we'll leave that for now.
I'm guessing the targets are a bad.
Yeah, so we'll get to the targets. So we've got a date of birth, which we should probably use. Don't really care about. Well, activism is one of our interests, so maybe we should add that. It's listed as one of our interests, maybe that's important. Let's have a look. So then, and again, she's got a fucking Facebook wall. Like, here are more people. Hey, maybe that gets flagged as opposes the government vehemently. Maybe.
Yeah, let's fuck all you government lackeys.
Yeah, let's leave that for now. Talking about despised puppets of the state and all this kind of stuff. Here's a conflict with a data chunk we haven't looked at yet, so we'll come back to that. But there's this Mary Bly person. Maybe it was it says broken friendship, so maybe that's something we should look at. There you go. In a relationship with Joseph Langley, who's not a member, so we should probably add that in there. With her lawyer, maybe noteworthy. So do we have a? Okay, he is still in there. We can't do anything with him yet. Let's have a look. So there again, there's the link to that article we were looking at. But the procedure closure, but her court case. Some stuff in there. She's actually talking about the court case. There's a new picture talking about concert. So what have we got here? So this picture means that it's a alias, so maybe like an online alias or like another name or something like that.
Oh, okay, sure.
There's contact with this person called Juliet, suggested by Juliet. So that's maybe as a nerd thing. And then we've got this dude's.
Aliases are always.
Yeah, aliases are always handy because then it links to other data chunks and all this kind of stuff. And then dude called Harrison O'Donnell, who looks amazing. Invited to a little activist group. Maybe that's something we should.
Yeah, that seems interesting.
We should probably grab that. Nothing more specific right now. Oh, the listeners come back online. What we got? Nerd chat to Joseph Langley. Let's see what he says. Oh, okay, so now they're just talking about the bombing that just happened, so maybe this would be interesting to see. So yeah, obviously this is where she was arrested the last time, so... and there's some really nice kind of touches in here where, like, the picture you use here is the picture that gets used in chats, so you can track people and do all this kind of stuff. So there's something there, which says she catches the bus every day at Freedom Plaza. Is that relevant? Maybe.
Well, issue is that I guess it links her to the scene.
It links her to the scene, right? So we should probably add
but we know she
there.
was there. We saw her on the CCTV.
Also that. So it could be a coincidence as well, just because she's there. So we'll add that in there. Shenanigans process. Don't justify yourself to me, not to anyone. So happy when Goldfells accepted me into Thought. Who's Goldfells? She's a member of a group called Thought. So let's add that in there.
That seems weird because Thought's not like. Oh, okay, sure. I was gonna say Thought's not capitalized when she's typing it, so. But
it's also like it's a chat, right? You don't capitalize stuff sometimes.
Do you not?
Well, I do, but I'm really pertinent about that kind of stuff. Like I've seen plenty of conversations with people that don't. So already, like, here's a bunch of people that she has.
Yeah, it's already kind of complicated.
Relationships with, and who this Goldfells.
I can see where this would go if she's starting to go into like weird underground activist groups. How this could explode really quickly.
Totally. Like you could see, like, so obviously they're having a conversation about like. We don't want this to happen again in case they start calling me a terrorist and all this kind of stuff. And she's talking. Hey,
guess what? You're now suspected for terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. But like they don't.
I don't want to be called a terrorist. People are going to think. A
little bit late. So there you go. So there's something we've already submitted that they are together. So, in case you missed it the first time, there's another thing that would suggest that. So I've seen the rest of this, so we can come back to this because I know where this is going. Also, it's got a really cool thing where like it does the ... for people typing, and occasionally they're typing at the same time if like an argument gets heated and stuff like that. Like they've scripted it quite well. It's not just like here's the list of the conversation. Like it's pretty good. And then she kind of
she's getting angry.
She kind of explodes
you
for a little bit.
She's skipping letters in her words that she's getting angry.
Yeah, like it seems.
Methadone.
Okay, she's on a medication, which
called methadone.
So if we take that bit, and then if I remember correctly, we can go back to what is methadone? So he asks. So if we go back to the products on the pharmaceutical page.
Oh,
methadone,
okay.
antidepressant.
Antidepressant. Sure.
There you go. So yes, so she maybe has problems with her emotions.
Also, this secret activist group that's called Thought just has a website. I guess they're an activist group.
They aren't necessarily doing anything illegal while having that. So there's your conflict. So again, it's here. So here, where was she saying it? So there she's angry at Mary Bly on January 30th, and then down here in April 12th the previous year, so previous best friends. So here you can say like either best friend or
up and down.
Broken friendship.
Or it's.
So this is more recent, so this is actually the current correct information, so you'll get that. Sykes gets a bit snarky every now and then.
Yeah.
Which is I could he's a fun character. So here you go. So here's the website. Here's a blog for Thought. The Thought with a big fat George Orwell quote at the top, which is nice.
Yeah.
Let's see what their latest entry. The rest of them are all archived, which give you error messages.
403s.
Yeah, 403s. There you go. Catharsis.
Catharsis. There you go.
So there you go. So you can see there's her account. Same with their contact details. So it's definitely her. So we know it's definitely her. So talks about a lot of things. No comments in the article, but here we have adverse attitude toward violence. That's interesting, considering she allegedly hit someone with a brick. So there's obviously a conflict with that somewhere else. So let's see if we can see that. Oh, so she's just made a post, actually. Finally someone who has the great explosives to show how futile surveillance is. So either she sees assault justified for the futility of surveillance, or has an adverse attitude toward violence. So again,
it sounds like she's talking out of her ass, but alright.
So again, context is super important here, right? Where we just saw her explode over IM, where she was obviously like emotions are heightened, and then suddenly she makes a post on timelines saying fuck the government, right? So at this
someone
point,
was finally violent enough to be able to do it.
So like,
then the post that saying that she was against violence was on some sort of like activist website where people aren't, especially since it's forward facing, then they're trying not to be crazy and out there. So it's,
and like,
maybe
she's talking
not,
here, like this was post arrest originally, because she's talking about like the things she's been called and all this kind of stuff. And even after she's arrested, the fact that she said that, I think, is kind of important. So we're going to grab that one and put that in. Yeah, so like this is the type of thing where like, oh, okay, if that's what you think, then maybe we're up the wrong tree. Okay, sure. Have to dig a little deeper. Okay, let's see what in our chat. So also that didn't end particularly well, just so you know. Like, just because I've seen this as well, they kind of freak out and she storms off and all this. Oh, here's that Juliet Kerrigan person. So who's that again? That was one of our people that posted on her
This
timelines.
game's really interesting. I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah. So here, Juliet is now talking to her about the post she just made on timelines saying, hey, you shouldn't really write something like this. So obviously she's a friend because she's coming in saying, hey, you probably shouldn't post it like this, what's up, and all this kind of stuff. And it's really bad. Like, there's a little internal pang every time you see somebody say like, don't worry, this is just the two of us, and you're sitting watching this conversation. Like, it's kind of fucked up. But yeah, so again, she's talking about what happened before and all this kind of stuff. I can't remember how much more of this there is. I'm adverse to showing a little bit more, but I at least kind of want to get a little bit more information.
I was going to say, I think we're given the idea of what this game is, where it seems to. Oh god.
So also, there you go. So the music changes.
Hey, context. There you go.
Yeah. So the music changes at key points as well when stuff happens. It's really fucking important. So for instance, now we figure out why she was arrested, because the police officer was assaulting Juliet. And Cassie...
Yeah, like, why she decided to club the guy over the back
exactly.
of the head.
So here you go. So she's freaking out, as we've seen from previous things right now, because she's emotions are running high. So she says that she smashed the skull of a father of 2 children because I lost it, which translates as admits guilt.
Yeah.
Or...
I mean, she just did, so...
Yeah. Or... the context of that being Juliet, who is much more level-headed right now,
to
protect her.
So now you're just being able to...
So now you can say, like, you see both these things, and you're like, okay, well, this seems like the thing that actually happened.
Yeah.
She's more together.
Yeah.
So
this is the person who's, like, got problem... the person's got, like, antidepressants problems, and there's, like, talk of, like, how she's taking her meds and stuff, so she might be on edge. And...
Yeah. So, now that we've added that in, you can say, oh, this is perfect, now we can arrest her and open the investigation again because she injured a police officer because she actually said something about it.
Yeah.
However, we probably won't be able to long if this really happened in defense of Juliet. So, they can arrest her again to question her based on that, but they can't hold her because she hasn't actually admitted guilt. So there you go. So the intervention team is already on its way. We'll need to wait for confirmation. So there's now a team...
The intervention team?
So they're now on the way to go arrest her.
Right, okay, so there's police, alright.
Investigate Watergate's case, it wasn't a problem to get her address, but they helped local police due to her former records. So again, she's got records, so they keep track of her address, which is kind of fucked up as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so you'll have to let go. Oh god, there's another chat happening. So obviously she's a bit calmed down now.
So you're never actually, when that happens, you're never actually going to come in on a conversation like midway through, right?
No, you come in.
Like you're always going to start at whenever the point of the game dictates.
But once you've started it, if you navigate away, the conversation will continue in the background.
Okay, sure.
So here's where it goes. So she said, I should probably take that post down. Hold on a second, somebody's at the door. Hold on. And then...
okay, so now it's just waiting. Your boyfriend? Oh, the lawyer guy.
So again, in relationship, Joseph. So again, you can hover over it and it says, there's been more precise data submitted for this thing, so you don't have to do it again. And then she's like, hello, are you still there?
Even she just told me there's someone at the door.
Yeah. Session closed. I'll inquire if I'm well arresting most before I get you.
Oh, right, that was the arrest.
That was the arrest happening. Although we have no proof she's involved in the bombing, we might be able to question her. But if we don't clear evidence, we can't keep her for long. She's now in custody, very good work. Curious about this thought group though, whether they... Oh shit.
No.
2 dead after second explosion. No. Look at the news. Back to the headlines. Second explosion at Stelligan University in Bonton.
So it couldn't have been her then.
Yep. 2 dead, similar approach, same letter found. The assaults are connected. And we had her in custody, so obviously it's not her.
Yeah, so she can't do it because she's,
This complicates matters massively, so much for a simple test case. I need to speak to my superiors here where to proceed given these extenuating circumstances. And that's the end of episode 1.
So really cool. That game's awesome.
So again, at this point, you can then go out and like actually start, like if you've missed stuff, you can go and build up.
Like filter through stuff.
Yeah. Because again, this all transfers into the next episode. Like all of the stuff you have stays.
Yeah.
So it might be because a bunch of the stuff's marked. We haven't even looked at any of the party website stuff, which might have some more things. So yeah, and then you can log out, which is the end of episode. And at the end of the episode, you get a summary like this, which is like, here's everything we learned today. So here's the kind of global events that happened. There was the assault. We've got this activist group, and then the second assault, and the kind of overall information we've gathered about our target person for now. Yeah, and then you move on to the next day, and that's the next episode. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave it there because that's the first episode. That's
cool game.
Yeah, this is a really cool game. I'm gonna quit out of here before I can do. Oh shit. Okay, so then the start of the next episode is this gold-filled person and this thought group.
Yeah, like let's go and look at the weird underground.
Now that we've got
group.
now that we've got a portrait or a fake portrait from, that means you're now authorized to go start getting information about them. So then we can do that. So yeah, that is Orwell. It is $6.99 on Steam right now. Like I said, the first episode
I'm probably gonna go buy this.
Yeah. The first episode's up for free. It's the demo. So already, I don't know if it came over in the recording there, bang an achievement there because that went differently than the last time I did it.
Oh really?
Yeah. Okay. Not like. It seems very much like the kind of global.
Do you know what the differences were?
So I think it was like I chose a couple of different of the conflicting data chunks, so maybe they had more evidence to arrest her and hold her. But I can't show the achievements in here, but they're very much like paint this person as this or like this, and those are the two options.
Sure.
But yeah, and then everything surrounding this as well, where like I said in the podcast actually, where the game emails you when there's new episodes, but like in character as Sykes, saying like, hey, you need to get back.
Saying, hey, we need to,
So obviously, like at the end of the first episode, when I got the email, the second episode came out, they were like, fuck, we need to go investigate this new bombing because something bad just happened. So we're up to episode 4, I think, or I think 5 comes out.
5 was released yesterday.
There you go. So all 5 episodes.
Well, sorry, the 18th when you're listening to this, the 18th of November.
So 5 episodes. I think it's 5 episodes per season, so the next one should wrap it up. It goes places, and you'll also see that you also saw there was a third tool up at the top right, which we didn't get to. You can start like actually poking about in people's devices, like PCs and phones and stuff like that.
Oh, is that the Insider thing that was there?
So you basically just like remote desktop into people's machines and start poking about in folders. It gets real dirty real quick. And there's a lot of kind of interesting choice in there. But yes, so this is Orwell. Thank you very much, Calum.
Cool, thanks, Euan.